Good Saturday morning. This week is a little bittersweet because we're going to take the floors from this to this. Yes. But the bitter part is that the person we've been working so hard to get the renovation at minimum viable product for won't be coming anymore. Well, won't be coming yet anymore. We are a little bit bummed about that. But basically we're going to transform the floors that we have, the wooden floors that we have, into their final form. So these are the original wood floors that were in this house, and they were covered up with carpets. Literally the day that we settled, we came here and took the carpets out. So this already has 2 coats of poly on it. We hired a big barrel sander. They were like that horrible red orange varnish on top when we arrived, and spent about 4 days barrel sanding these all down to get the varnish off. We did hire one of the edge sanders to do like these edges near the gyprock, or at the time it was just the studs. We didn't actually have the gyprock on, but they were so hard to control that I ended up just using the Ryobi hand sander, and then we left the 3rd coat to do after we finished all the painting the plaster, because we knew we were going to get all these little speckles and a bit of damage, even though we had that cardboard down, the flooring cardboard down. But it's actually ended up not being so bad. We have recently upgraded to a Milwaukee sander that is like so much more quiet. It is a delight to use. All right, let's get into it. What do you guess is good? Huh? I need a man. Come help me. Things be so heavy and awkward. Heavy and how am I gonna move this? So how good does this look? I love these dark, like walnutty stripes, and then even some reds down here. It's so crazy to me to think that when these floors were installed, they were probably just like regular construction timber. They probably weren't, I don't think it was really the fashion at the time to have timber floors, but very, very welcome in our house. I was a little bit worried, a little bit intimidated when we first decided that we were going to have a go at doing the floors ourselves, because I watched so many YouTubes about how to do it, and I knew that I would be able to technically do it. I just wasn't sure about the quality, because all the tutorials that I watched talked about the importance of, when you're using the drum sander, to be careful not to do big gouges out of the floor. And it was actually fine. Just like so slow, just taking my time, being soft, feathering in. There are a couple places along these edges where the belt sanding wasn't awesome, or I couldn't quite get in with the hand sander, but it's turned out fine, and our baseboard will substantially cover that. Yes, it is actually something that I would really recommend giving a go yourself. It wasn't as difficult as I was expecting it was going to be. Definitely time consuming using the hand sander. But I think it probably would have been 8 or 9 days worth of work altogether. So I think it was really worth it, because we didn't even get a quote, but we've probably only spent, what was a high? Less than $500 plus sanding pads maybe. We were very lucky that the actual planks themselves were placed very close together, so we actually didn't need to fill anything. Like the underneath is usually exposed to either at like ground or just free air if the house is on stilts, and so it can be quite cool with air coming up in between the planks. But because we built in downstairs, we've got this wood and then like R7 insulation, and then the noise barrier gyprock on the ceilings, so we won't have any problems with draft. It'll be nice and warm on the feet, and we didn't have to fill in any gaps. Happy days. I'll do a little bit of a test on the wood here because I can't remember what grit of sandpaper I used to do in between coats of the poly. So I'm just seeing if this works. I've only got 120s. I've got like a big stack of 120s, but I can't tell if that's going to be too much for the places where it's not particularly damaged, or if it's going to be not enough for the places where we really have quite a lot of plaster and paint. So just on this patch, oh, it's maybe like 1.5 by 4 meters. To see how it goes, I'd give it a nice clean and I'll let it dry. Like there's parts of it that are already drying, but I can't tell if that's still dusty. Anyway, also not me having different coloured socks on. So we are finished for the day, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm glad that this is gonna be at the end. We got through, sanded the entire house, and Danny is finishing a second mop. And so we'll let it all settle overnight, and then we'll put the topping compound on tomorrow. Hey Derek. Oh, you just shit, didn't you? You just shit. Are you pissy because there's no seed in the thing? You just shit on my driveway because there's no seed? You're so beautiful. What an asshole. Hey? Hi. See you tomorrow.
Battery 100%.
Welcome to Sunday. I was in a bad mood until just then. A little mini rave to get the vibes up. Because Danny's working again and I have to do this floor by myself. We've got the cornice off the ground. One final vacuum with a nice fine vacuum. We've got a nice new fibre head. We're going to have some beautiful floors at the end of this. Don't worry, it doesn't need to be level. All right. If that isn't the most beautiful shelf you ever saw. We watched Formula 1 and tonight is a race at a time which is good for our time zone. So we want to watch it live, which means that we need the internet. The reason I'm doing this is because that's the only place where we can connect the internet over there. So I had to create a little shelf that would reach to a door that we're going to be removing later on, so it doesn't matter that it's damaged by screwing things into it, so we can get the internet to work so we can watch the race. Subscribe for more life hacks. No one could ever say that I wasn't a solution orientated company. How was it dust in there? Now we can get started. This is freaking stressing me out, man. Tell you what, I'm getting pretty sick of being on my knees, working on these floors. I'm not 25 anymore. Oh yeah. Oh my god. That was crunchy. scrunch your back. I gotta say that one of the biggest things I've learned doing the DIY at this house is like, I know this might sound, actually I don't know if this is gonna sound stupid or like so obvious, but like to use enough material or product. Like when I first started, I was like, man, paint's so expensive. I'll try and put on exactly the thinnest coat that I can. And then ended up with like roller lines and it didn't settle very nicely, all this kind of stuff. And things like paint self-settles. And so if you don't use enough, it'll affect the finish because you need enough on there to settle, kind of like putting a glaze on a cake, I guess. Whereas like you need to have enough glaze that it can ooze itself into a nice smooth surface. And I have to remember that right now. That just because a piece of wood that I'm working on is wet, or I can see that it's wet, doesn't mean that that's enough product. I need to give this enough product that it will self-settle, but not so much that it'll leave a bubble. Oh, off. This tin's not big enough. Oh. I don't want to hear about it, okay? This is what is available to me. And maybe we'll learn together if this hack works as well. Didn't I tell you earlier to subscribe for more life or renovation hacks? Maybe this is one. This is not how I saw this going. I would say one of the things that I find most difficult about like this DIY renovating stuff, like learning some of these skills, is the inexperience of when enough is enough. Because it's so well and easy to watch a video and then they say these are the literal steps on how to do something like this. But then the details of, there's a word that I'm looking for here. Like the discernment of different conditions is what I really lack. There's some crossover skills like painting and cake decorating, that kind of stuff. But the being able to know something's going to turn out based on preparation in an earlier step is what I really miss. So things like, how well do I really need to have sanded the floor? I think we probably end up doing too much. The threshold for what is required to get to the quality level that we want, we go overboard because it's like, well, we don't want to have to redo any of these projects on account of not having done the prep quite well enough. Danny just got home from his call out. I wanted to see his reaction to the shelf. Hi.
Nice.
Thank you. Important to make sure that you can watch your Formula One.
Thank you.
One day I won't need this stuff on the floor anymore. Welcome to the next Saturday. Okay, it is attempt 1786 working on the floors. I have done a lot of work. Moved all the materials from the other two rooms into the living dining room. There we are, and this is laid out all of the remaining sanding pads we have because there was no way I was going to get partway through that project and then stop and go back up to Bunnings and get more sanding pads. So we're going to safety gear up and get into sanding those are the two rooms. So then we can vacuum, wash, let it dry, and then put the final coat down. And then the floors will be finished tomorrow morning. Hi, sweetie. Okay, that's it. I'm done. The materials are cleaning. Oh, my brain's not working. Got to feed the cat. It was like nearly 7 o'clock. Hi, I know. Don't worry, he's not. He's fine. He just wants treats. I'm so tired. Danny's still at work. Shame he's had to work a lot on this on call. But look, I have got vodka crush, passion fruit and guava to have before my lentils. I will show you the finished product next. I'm so tired. I'm so happy. And I had about 100 mils of that 10-litre bucket of the poly left. I love it when a plan comes together. See you tomorrow. It is actually Monday, not Sunday, and come in and have a look. Oh, so good. Yes. I was a little bit worried about this room yesterday because I wasn't paying attention and I came from this room into this room and I started putting the coating on all the way into here and then realized that I wouldn't be able to get out if I kept going and I'd be stuck in that corner standing for 3 hours like an idiot. So I was a bit worried that the tipping off at the entrance there wouldn't work out well, but it's beautiful. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm so happy. Next we have cornicing. That video will be next week, I think, finishing the kitchen. So be sure to subscribe to see the video of the kitchen being finished, of that main bedroom, being finished. And then I don't know what's next. Well, we've got a gardening project out the back. Things are coming together really, really quickly. I'm also thinking I'll work on a video about kind of the top 5 tips about how to do your own floors for beginners. Anyway, thanks for hanging around to see the floors. We're so happy with them, and we'll see you soon. Insert Tracy the finished floors. Someone, not gonna name names, someone broke the Stanley knife. The boucle chair in there, we could do a little cuckold moment. People, oh my God. Is that my cat? Look at that. Can you see that cat? I am having lots of feelings about the world feels very big and loved ones feel very far away. We are bummed, and it's okay to have feelings.